Hey guys! Welcome back. Today we're here with
Christina Sajous!
Woo!
She was an American Idiot, Baby It's You, Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark, Holla If You Hear Me,
Holla!
and SpongeBob.
So, let's get on to the video.
Here we go! Broadway time!
First question, how did you get into theater?
How did I get into theater? I would say that it was all kind of a serendipitous, beautiful accident because it's something that I've always been attracted to and loved ever since I was a little kid. And so I would say that how did I fall into it? It's almost like I found it, but it also found me. The moment I started to find interest and my mother, was able to cater for me to go to classes. So I went to classes fairly young. When I was about 8 years old, I went to Lee Strasberg School of Acting. I also was in immense dance classes at Harlem School of the Arts in New York City. And so it just was something that was just a part of my life. And like I said, it was almost like I chose it, but the return is that it chose me. And so it became a relationship that I've actually have still been building ever since I was really young.
What is your favorite show, Mishap?
My favorite show, Mishap. It's always a costume issue, I feel, especially on Broadway, especially when you have quick scene changes and costume changes. There's always, if you miss a step, if you're any second shorter or longer, there always seems to be a costume mishap when there are quick changes happening. So I would definitely say the one that comes to mind was when I was in Baby It's You. And we literally had 10 seconds to change out of one sequence dress into another. And each of us had our own dresser. And so my zipper actually got stuck. So I actually had to go on stage with half of my dress on. In front of a live audience. Granted, it didn't look as bad, because it wasn't zipped in the back, but I was covered in the front.
That's better.
Yeah, at least you were covered in the front. That wasn't so bad.
What is your favorite thing to do during quarantine?
My favorite thing to do during quarantine? So many. I have learned, especially just recently, the beauty of a nap. And that sounds really lazy.
Yeah.
But that's something that I don't think we really honestly take advantage of, especially being theater artists. We're in theater 8 times a week, and our entire lives, especially our evenings, are dedicated to our craft. But in those instances, I think we forget to take care of ourselves and eat healthy. And so what I've been enjoying, besides, trying to hone my craft more and trying to learn how to be a better artist, I'm also in the process of learning how to be a better human. And through that, I'm learning how to legitimately try to take care of my body, which is a machine and a foundation. And I have to say, the past couple of days, I have been honoring some naps, and they have been fantastic. I forget back in the day when we were in, I believe, nursery, they used to give us naps, it was mandatory. Yeah. I miss that. I miss the good old days when we had to take a nap and we didn't want to.
Yes.
But it's true. I mean, it's just a way to kind of rest the spirit, rest the mind, rest the body, so that way it restores itself, and then you can continue to have your day without all the extra stress and anxiety that the world is already placing upon us because of the pandemic.
Yeah. What movie would you want to turn into a musical, and what musical would you want to turn into a movie?
Let's see, a movie that would be an interesting musical. Well, it's okay. So I do have a favorite movie of mine, which is kind of like a musical movie, is 5 Heartbeats. Do you guys know that?
I don't think so. Yeah.
You guys are a bit young. You guys are really young. I mean, I was also very young when the movie came out. Clearly, I also like old films because I've mentioned Imitation of Life and 5 Heartbeats.
Right.
But it's kind of similar to The Temptations, where it is a coming of age story about 5 Black men who have aspirations to be singers and famous singers, and they're a group, but through life you see things start to fall apart through their celebrity. And I think it's kind of like the classic story. I mean, you see that story in Dreamgirls, and then also reflected what happened with the Diana Ross and or any kind of group that was in Motown. You hear those stories all the time. And so, but the music in that movie and the storytelling in the Five Heartbeats is amazing. And I also think they would have less to do if they ever went to Broadway, because the music's already been established in the movie. And so all they have to do is kind of recreate it into theater form, which I think would be great. Now, on the flip side, you said a musical made into a movie.
Yes.
Let's see, a musical. Ooh. Okay, there was a show that starred Chita Rivera called The Visit, which was amazing. I mean, truly one of my, I would say, it was a really stark, dark musical. And I would almost say almost too dark, but I think the elements that was inside of the production itself, which were, it was so beautifully directed. I think it would actually be great storytelling for a movie, because I tend to be attracted to movies that are dark storytelling. I'm literally in the process of watching The Queen's Gambit right now on Netflix, and even that has a very dark tone. I'm just attracted to that kind of stuff.
I know you're talking about. Okay, so I love like Valentinian movie, like Queen King movies, right, or shows.
Yes.
So they came into my suggestion. I watched it and I was like, no, this is way too dark for me. I watched it and I was like, no, I'm good.
Right.
I was like,
no, it's true. I mean, actually, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you again?
I'm 16.
And you're 16, Joel?
I'm 12.
How old are you?
12.
12, yeah, okay. I think actually it might be pretty appropriate for you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's so dark. I think The Undoing from the first episode seems a bit dark. So maybe for your age, I probably would hold off on that. But definitely The Queen's Gambit, what I'm finding myself very interested in, not actually in the darkness. I think the darkness comes from the psychology of the human, a human being, and how we oftentimes are the people, talk about the fear again, who kind of destroy ourselves. Like, we have the capacity, if not being careful on how we take care of ourselves, we could lead into destruction. But what I think is really fascinating about The Queen's Gambit is how they're using chess and comparing it to life.
I like
and how there is a psychology and a correlation in the way that we live life, which is similar to the game of chess, because it's all about science, and it's all about intuition and instincts, and also there is kind of a formula to it, which I think life is very similar that way. Like, we know by 18 you're an adult.
Yes.
And by 21 you can, there are certain things you can do when you weren't 18. So there's just a formula to life that I think is very interesting and being portrayed in this particular show. So I actually think you would really enjoy it.
It's
not as dark.
The first episode I was like, what is this? And it's like kind of slow too. So I was like,
yes,
it's just come on, like, what is it? So now I was like, no,
get it going.
So I was like, this is a little weird. So nice. I think I watched something else, because I love like Valentinian Queen stuff. I love like the medieval. I love stuff like that. So I'm trying to find some shows. I just finished watching Rain. You know what Rain is?
Rain?
Yes. You know that? It's like it's like about Queen Mary and stuff like that. And I was just finished.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really good. I just finished watching that. So now I was like trying to find some other like shows to watch. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So now, what role would you never do again, and why?
What role? So I guess I played it before. What role would I never do, and why? Okay, so this is going to be a tricky one, because it's not one specific role. But when I was about 23 years old, or 22, I had just graduated from college, and I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to audition, and then I booked the tour of Rent. And first off, I love Rent. I think it's great storytelling. I think the music is amazing. However, I was fresh out of college, and I had such focus and desire to just perform. That's all I wanted to do. And so I took on the job as a swing. And do you know what a swing
Yeah,
is?
a swing that covers many roles.
A lot of roles, yeah.
Yes, a person who covers various roles and oftentimes are the ones actually backstage. And I took on that role, and I think rightfully so. I think about my timing, my inexperience. I think that was appropriate for me to take. But as myself, I found it to be very difficult because I just wanted to focus on one role. And I also wanted to perform every time there was an opportunity to perform on stage. So it was very difficult for me to just be the person that was waiting backstage to perform, in case someone was sick or decided to call out. I think there are people who are built for those kind of jobs and love those jobs, who are just like, I don't mind sitting backstage and waiting for the opportunity to come when it comes. But for me, I think because I was fresh out of school and so anxious to start performing, it felt very difficult for me to take on a role like that and then have to learn 5 different roles. So not only was I overwhelmed, but then on top of it, I felt like I wasn't really living my purpose. And so it was, I would say, so the role of being a swing, although I think is a fantastic role to play, it's just not always fit for everyone. And I just think I was one of those people at that time.
Yeah, when people told me about like roles, like being a swing, I'm always like, I don't know how you could do that because I couldn't learn all the choreography, the different roles. I couldn't learn all the lines and all the. I mean, I could, but it'd be a lot. It would definitely be a lot.
Right.
So I definitely agree with like just sticking to one role.
But yeah, because I don't know who told us this, but someone told us that they were in Hamilton, and they were swing, and they were learning like all those different roles, the fast talking, the different rapping, and they said it was like they were literally exhausted to the point where it was so much, and they probably wouldn't do it again because it was a lot. Yeah.
It's true. You have to build a different type of stamina, and it takes a different type of focus and a proclivity to always be ready. And I just felt I was in a position that I have to admit, and this is not to toot my own horn, I was very good at the job because I wanted to be. And I tend to be a multitasker in various ways. And so the job, it's not that the job was difficult. What was difficult was that I didn't have the opportunity to perform as often as I would like. And at the end of the day, I'm an actor, I'm an artist, and I crave the stage and I crave the opportunity. And so to know that I would touch it every so often felt like you're just dangling candy in front of a toddler. And so I had to learn very early on, although I have such respect for the job, that the job wasn't necessarily built for me.
What is your favorite scene out of any musical you've been in?
My favorite scene out of any musical that I've been in. My favorite scene. Paradise Square, the production I had just done, I just did in Berkeley Repertory Theater with the director of Moises Kaufman, choreographer Bill T. Jones. And I believe I told you it was about the 1965, there was an area called the Five Points in New York City where blacks and the Irish would integrate. And this was post-slavery, so people were always trying to find a way to escape. And immigrants and black people found harmony in that because in some interesting way, although they were whites versus blacks, they were kind of considered to be the same. If you were an immigrant, you were just as equal as being a runaway slave or a slave that had just been freed. So anyways, I say that all to say there's a scene at the end of the show where there is a riot that occurs and the character Nellie Freeman steps out and basically in all of her strong, beautiful, vulnerable, black, carrying that also on her shoulders as being like a black saloon owner. She owns a bar in this community that many people frequent. She has to not only stand up for her bar, but stand up for the people who represent her bar, this community that she's helped build, and had to actually fight against her oppressors. And she's the only one who steps out of the bar and she yells at her oppressors who are threatening to to burn her bar down. And what's interesting, the way they directed it, is that the character speaks to the audience. So the audience is kind of like the oppressors. And so in some way, we're alienating the audience. And for me, when you break that fourth wall in theater, I think it's a very special moment, because now you're letting the audience in. They're not just watching the show like it's a TV show. They're actually engaged, and they're very much a part of the storytelling. So I would say, besides that particular scene, I think any time that an actor breaks a fourth wall and talks directly to their audience is one of my favorite moments in theater.
That's
so cool. I love those type of moments too. I feel like in one of the shows we've seen that's happened before, but I just love it. Like even if I'm like watching a pro shot of a show, I love it when that type of thing happens.
Yes, most definitely. I think it's really cool because, I mean, yes, you guys paid for your ticket to come to this production, and you're kind of forced to just watch it from that perspective. And, you know, I think sometimes we forget that part of theater is a community effort. You know, it's like we are sharing stories with you. It's kind of like, you know, back in the day when you were just in elementary school, your teacher would like read a book to you and you guys would all circle around. It's kind of the same dynamic. And so to not just be a spectator, but to be a participant, I definitely feel like expands the purpose of theater.
Yeah. I go to Theater Lab in the summer. Well, I used to, right? And we had this program where we like make up a play, right? And throughout most of the play, we were talking to the audience. Like we were just interacting with the audience, talking to them, because we made the play, so it was like all of our imagination into like one kind of like combined play. And my role, I was a teacher and had like a lot of lines. So my role, teacher, was like to get people and like quiz them on stuff, right? So we like quiz them. They'd be like, I don't know, like, you know, because they're the audience too. So yeah, I get when you said that, break the fourth wall and kind of interact with the audience, kind of like put them in part of the story. And yeah, it was a really good play.
Yeah, most definitely.
What was it like filming a musical and playing Sandy Cheeks?
What was it like? It was amazing because, well, first off, as theater artists, you know, I used to feel that oftentimes we are kind of put into a box as just being theater artists, and I think sometimes people forget that we're just artists and we just happen to be inside of the genre of theater. But there are various things that we can do, and so to have the opportunity to play Sandy Cheeks on, you know, live on stage, you know, not just in theater form, but for TV, was a great opportunity, not just for me, but I think for every one of us that share that stage together, because it's we have very few opportunities where we can kind of break the mold from being theater artists, and now we're doing TV and film. And so just that opportunity alone was amazing. And then to play Sandy Cheeks and to know what that represented was amazing, because I'm very much aware that I'm a Black woman, and I'm very much aware that I'm playing a squirrel, and I'm very much aware that I'm playing someone smart. And you want to make sure that you're being an inspiration. You're playing a scientist, so your responsibility is that you know that what you're playing, there are going to be various children watching you and could possibly be inspired. And so you realize you're not just playing a character, you're playing someone that actually has the potential to influence the way someone thinks. And so definitely I realized the responsibility, and I think the opportunity felt bigger than just doing it. You know, it felt like it was bigger on a spiritual level, and it felt bigger on just a human level.
Yeah, I wish every Broadway show would do like a pro shot like that, because it's so enjoyable to watch and to have that like as a time capsule forever. Especially being a big SpongeBob fan, I wish all shows would do that. That would be so amazing.
He's definitely a big SpongeBob fan. We have it literally recorded onto our TV right now. He like watches it like constantly.
I love that.
But now we're gonna go on to our usual games.
Okay, great.
The first one is put a finger down, and so put a finger down will give you a prompt, and if it relates to what you've done, you'll put a finger down.
The second game is guess the musical, and we give you like a little prompts, and you're gonna just like, you know, guess them, and we give you clues if you don't get it the first time.
And
great.
And the third game is called roll call, and so we'll say a prompt, and then if it goes with the role that you played, you'll say which role that is.
Okay.
So which ones do you want to play?
Okay. finger down.
Okay.
Put a finger down.
Put a finger down if you rejected plans because of rehearsal.
Oh, say that again?
Put a finger down if you rejected plans because of rehearsal.
Oh, you know what? You're cutting off a little bit.
We are?
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Okay. Put a finger down if you rejected plans because of rehearsal.
Always. Always. It's my daily life.
Put a finger down.
I'm always having to cancel. I'm like, I can't do it today.
Put a finger down if you cried at closing night.
Always cry.
Put a finger down if you've been noticed on the street.
There you go.
Put a finger down if you interacted with that theater girl.
Put a finger down if a famous person came to your show.
Oh, yeah.
Put a finger down if you ever burped or farted on stage.
Oops.
Put a finger down if you've fallen on stage.
Oh, gosh. Always.
Put a finger down if your voice cracked on stage.
Put a finger down if you got gifts from fans.
Oh, yes. The fans are always great.
Yeah.
Put a finger down if you played multiple roles in a show.
Oh, yes.
You
got
multiple roles in a show.
Ooh, so what was the interaction with that theater girl?
Well, that theater girl. So I mentioned Audra.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in Williamstown, and we were all invited to dinner by the head of the artistic director, and we were, there were various shows happening, but she only invited 2 shows at the time, and that show in particular had Audra McDonald as well as Blair Underwood. But for me, it was, they were in 2 different shows. So there were 3 shows that were invited to this dinner.
Okay.
But we were all a very small cast, so we were all kind of all around this dinner table and chatting it up. But I had never met Audra, and I think we had been in theaters that were close to each other, and I just never would see her. You hear about her, and you know about her being this extraordinary performer, but I had never met her. And so I got a chance to really just tell her how much I just appreciate her as an artist. And she was as incredibly kind and incredibly human. And I mean, her sometimes we project an idea of who we think these people are when we see them at a distance, but then when you get a chance to meet them in person, you're always fascinated by how human they are, because we're the ones who project this kind of pedestal on them. But she was a really cool woman.
Yeah.
Really
Audra
cool
McDonald seems like a person that you could just she's just a nice person, a kind person,
and it's cool because she's so famous, and she's just so nice. You know what I mean? I've watched interviews. She's just a really kind of person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was incredibly nice, and not that we expect these people not to be nice, but.
Right.
I like I said, I never met her, and I only know her through the characters she plays, and she plays these she plays the type of characters they're always strong-headed.
Yes.
They're never really weak.
No.
And I say weak characters meaning there's nothing really
fragile.
Fragile.
Yeah.
She plays very strong characters, and so it was nice to just see her just kind of be like a homegirl. For a change. Yeah, exactly. No makeup, no nothing, just easy. Just an easy person to meet.
Simple.
So what type of famous people came to your show?
Oh man, Whoopi Goldberg. I met her when I was in Holler If You Hear Me. There's been actually quite a few. It's so many. Actually, Donald Trump came to the opening of American Idiot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, we will never forget that.
But I mean,
did you meet him after the show? Did he say hi?
Well, he was actually there for the opening, and he stuck around for quite some time.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we've also met Lady Gaga.
Okay.
Lady Gaga.
But I mean, at the time,
Melissa Etheridge was in the show with us for American Idiot. Let's see, Chris Rock. Just so many celebrities, and I go back to Whoopi Goldberg because Whoopi Goldberg is not only like the biggest supporter of theater, but like she always sends these amazing cookies, and I always forget the company's name, but Whoopi is really good at making sure that not only does she come to support us, but that she always sends us like gifts. And she's really great at sending these specific cookies, and I don't know the name of the company, but they're the best cookies I've ever tasted. They're the best cookies. And she's also the type of person that if she's like wearing, you know, jewelry and you're like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful, she's like, well, here, take it. Like, she's just a very
Okay.
Yes, she might be one of my, like, you know, out of the various people I have met, she was one of my favorite people to meet. And I would say it's a couple of times actually, and she's come to other shows that I've done because she's just a big supporter of the theater community, and she always mentions it in her show as well, and she's always pushing Broadway shows on,
love that.
Yeah, whenever
on The View.
Whenever there's like Broadway shows that come on The View, you know how they might have like 2-minute introductions.
Yeah.
She's always the person doing them.
Yeah,
like every
single
time.
She is.
Always. She's like, she literally is helping us stay alive because she loves promoting artists and art within itself. She never forgets where she came from, and I think that's really wonderful.
So, can you talk about the burp or farted on stage?
Oh boy. Okay, so I was in The Prince of Egypt, and we were performing in California. And, okay, so the release of gas, I'm going to call it, because the F word is a hard word for me to say. The release of gas.
Oh, well, you can say pass gas.
Or pass gas, exactly. The word fart is really funny. I can't really, can't say it. But yes, I was on stage, and I just had a delicious dinner that didn't quite digest, and I was sitting on stage, and something happened on stage where I think some of us were like giggling, you know, because there's also those really great moments on stage where something might happen that's out of the ordinary, and so a lot of artists will just have the giggles, and it happens all the time. You know, even if we're in a serious moment, we're still like trying to act for the audience, but deep down inside, we're probably also giggling, or someone back, you know, maybe someone in the chorus is laughing at something that happened in front of them. But in this moment, a bunch of us were laughing at something that was happening in the forefront, and I had laughed so hard, but holding my laughter in, because I was like, holding it in, that I released myself accidentally.
Did people hear it?
But it's only because I couldn't laugh out loud, and so the release had to happen somewhere, and so it released from my bum.
Okay, did anyone say like, I know you passed gas, nasty, or did everyone just?
It was embarrassing. No, someone behind me knew, so they were laughing even harder. So they were already laughing at something that was happening, and then that happened, and I tried to pretend it didn't happen. They all knew it was me, and so then I became the joke. It was awful.
That's literally like someone's worst fear.
Now,
like,
did it smell?
It is a fear.
Yeah.
Did it smell bad?
Did it smell? You know what? I think I was lucky enough for it not to smell. It was bad enough that it could be heard.
Okay.
But because we all know, if we're going to actually talk about gas here, we all know it's the quiet ones that are the killer.
Yes, it really is. Joe does it all the time.
Yeah.
They are the killer.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, but the loud ones, you know, maybe because there's more of a release.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, well, honestly, I was thinking, like, if I ever to go on Broadway, that'd probably be my worst nightmare, trying to keep them in, because I just pass gas a lot. Like,
he does a lot. Like, a lot.
Yeah,
like,
it's not good.
You know,
like, a lot.
And it doesn't smell very good.
No.
Oh, no.
Ever.
No, I literally, it's to the point.
Your gas doesn't smell very good.
No, it's to the point where I get, like, mad sometimes. Because he does it so often, and he does it on purpose also. Like, he will literally go next to you and be like, and he run away and start laughing. And then he wants his reaction to be like, what the crap? Like, come on, Joel. So, yeah.
Well, Joel, I'm happy you have a very healthy digestion. You know, let it rip, my friend.
But it's not everybody. It's just my sister. I have to annoy my older sister.
No, Joel.
It's necessary. Now we're going to go on to Quick Round. So these are rapid fire questions. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm ready.
Favorite Halloween costume?
Cats.
Harry Potter house.
Ooh. Pass. house. So I don't know the answer to that.
Favorite holiday?
Harry Potter house. Oh man, Harry Potter house. This is horrible.
No, it's okay. I don't know either.
Okay.
I don't know either.
Oh, you don't know either?
Okay, yeah,
Great.
Yeah.
Favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday? Christmas.
Favorite song?
Ooh, I Will Always Love You.
Favorite actor?
Favorite actor? Bryan Cranston.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? Indian.
Favorite musical?
Well, favorite genre of food. I'm sorry.
Favorite musical?
Favorite musical? Little Shop of Horrors.
Favorite color?
Burgundy.
Favorite beverage?
Soda water.
Like sparkling water?
Favorite.
Like
sparkling water.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so good. It's
Yeah.
just so crisp. I mean, I love water. And water is actually my favorite, but sparkling just gives it that extra edge.
No, we have a lot of sparkling water. My mom barely buys juice, barely any juice. So the only taste that we have of any like little bit sweet is sparkling water, flavored sparkling water. So yeah.
So good. Well, because let's be honest. I mean, it's not good to drink soda,
No.
and that's probably the closest we'll ever really get to soda.
Right.
In this house, but definitely, I mean, especially during the summer when it hits your tongue,
Right.
the carbonation, it's so good. It's
Yeah.
so good.
But it's an acquired taste, because I'm gonna be honest, when I first drank it, I was like, what is it? It's kind of like diet, you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. And after a while, and my mom's like, we're not having no drinks, so this is all you have. Like, is it
Yes.
water or this? So choose.
Yes.
So after a long time, I was like, this is actually really good. So I drink them a lot. We drink them a lot.
Yes.
So yeah.
We get through soda water here. We actually just bought a cucumber mint yesterday, which I cannot wait to have a glass of.
Yes.
Where were we?
I think favorite place to eat in New York.
Favorite place to eat in New York? Ooh, Catch, New York. Catch.
Okay.
It's a sushi spot in the Meatpacking District. My favorite sushi place.
Biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve? People who walk their dogs in New York City and let their leash extend for the entire block, so you're kind of forced to step over the leash when you're passing by them. Because for some reason it's okay for the person to not only take up space, but their dog to take up half the block as well. Big pet peeve.
Do you have pets?
I don't. I had a dog growing up, and a dog and a cat actually, but no, in particular, I don't, and I'm not sure if I have interest right now, just because there's such a responsibility, and I'm so focused on self that I can't really extend my focus onto an animal, because you have to take care of them.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And I'm just not really there right now.
A favorite sitcom.
Favorite sitcom. Ooh, Martin.
Yeah.
Favorite costume?
Yeah. Favorite costume in a show?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely Arachne and Spider-Man.
Favorite animal?
It was all spandex.
Okay. Favorite animal?
Favorite animal?
Yeah.
Lion. Lions.
What other role would you
and dolphins.
What other role would you want to play in any of the roles in any of the shows you've been in?
What other roles that I haven't played that I would be interested in? So a show that I was in, but I didn't play the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would have really enjoyed playing Peter Parker.
Okay.
I'm always interested in male roles. I love Aaron Burr in Hamilton. I would love to play that role. That'd be the only role I would love to play.
Who else did something like that? Someone else said they wanted to play Jafar and be a girl, but play Jafar and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
That's cool. I love Jafar. There are some really unique characters written for men on Broadway that I've always been kind of attracted to.
Yeah, and also I feel like men have sometimes more deeper roles or kind of better roles. So you have to do something. So yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. We're still learning how to write roles for women.
Make them a little bit more deeper. Make them a little bit more likable. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, I almost can't blame them, because when you think of the majority on Broadway, a lot of the writers are men.
Yeah.
And so I can't blame them from coming from that perspective. You know, they do try their hardest to make sure they take care of the women characters, but there's just something very closely associated with men writing male roles, and it just has a little. It's just different. Yeah, they're different.
Favorite sport.
Basketball. Although I can't play it very well.
Actually,
I can't play it at all.
Favorite role to play.
Favorite role to play. I think I would have to say Nellie Freeman, the character I was telling you about in Paradise Square. Yeah.
Favorite movie.
Imitation of Life.
Favorite dance style.
Anything hip hop. I'm all about it.
Favorite pop star.
Pop star. Pop star. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I'm a little old school here. Because I know you guys have some really awesome pop stars in your age group. But I think I have to kind of stick to Whitney Houston.
I was just going to say that, and you know what's funny? Okay, so Spotify has this thing like really like tell you like what you listen to the most and like all that. And the person I was like listening to, it was Whitney Houston was on that list. So what was the song? It was like I think it was I Always Love You. That was something I listened to constantly. Yeah. So
she's forever my favorite, one of my favorite vocalists and favorite performers, and also all time favorite.
Yeah, it's singer. Whitney and Michael like next to each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Favorite dance number in any of the shows you've been in.
Favorite dance number. Oh yeah, the Bikini Bottom salute.
Yes.
Favorite book.
I think I told you guys Patsy the other, and I think Patsy. Patsy. It's a book that I just read. I've been part of a book club during this pandemic, and I've been reading some really interesting novels. So I would say Patsy. It's about a Jamaican immigrant who comes to New York City to start her life over when the world is actually trying to rob her of any sort of independence.
Okay. Favorite theater saying.
Favorite break a leg.
I love that one.
I love that you said the Bikini Bottom salute because I think like last year I learned it.
Oh yeah, we both learned it. And he made me. Let me see
it. I have to see it. Okay, let me see it.
I will always bow and pledge allegiance to this town that I hold dear. For all are welcome here, Bikini Bottom blue. Yes, I sing to the Bikini Bottom day. Bikini Bottom way.
Bikini
Bottom way.
Yes, I love SpongeBob.
Yes,
I love it.
He made me learn it with him, and he was like, we're doing it right. We're gonna do this right. So I was like, Bikini Bottom day. So yeah.
You probably actually did better than I did. I was like,
I think it was before we even saw it. He was making me learn it.
It was after because I found I found a video on YouTube of the salute, and I was like, I always attempted it, like watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but I never got it right. And so that was my moment. I was going to get it right. And I did.
Wow, well, you know what's interesting is that I think I actually... Yes, I had to learn that, actually, for the live production, because the character of Sandy and Patrick actually never did the salute, because we were always in the audience, you know.
Oh, yeah,
with the rope like
this.
Yes, but for the sake of filming, they wanted to make sure that everyone was in the cast, because they weren't filming us from the audience. And so I had to actually learn that salute, and I have to say, I mean, disclaimer, I messed that up so bad. I'm happy that the footage that they caught, we did it right. But my goodness, when we had our first round of filming, I completely butchered it. It was so, and I actually take pride in being a fairly good dancer or mover, but I could not get that whole thing together. My body would not compute.
Even here, I was trying to remember, because it's been a little while, like a pretty long time, like maybe like a year, 2 years, and I was like even trying to like remember, like I know this one like they look down, I know that, but then I was like I forgot kind of some of this, I forgot some of it. So
Hey guys, thanks for watching.
Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get every update of our videos.
Whoop! And tune in next week for an interview with Adrienne Walker. Woo! Also, So, our new post schedule is every Wednesday and every Saturday. So, make sure to tune in this Saturday for the interview with Adrienne. Anyways, we'll see you next time. Bye!